Hello. In this demo, I'll show you how to monitor IBM Domino servers using the VitalSigns Executive Dashboard. I've got the dashboard open in my screen right here in Firefox on my Mac. It's a browser-based application, which means you can access it from anywhere. We also even have native applications for iPhone and Android phones, but it works great in a browser. Here I'm looking at the dashboard and I can see right across the top how many of my servers have no issues at all, have one issue or another, are not responding, or are in a period of scheduled maintenance. Now for supporting details, I can look down to the page and I can see just my Domino servers, or just my BlackBerry servers, or just my Traveler servers. Why don't I go ahead and click on my Traveler servers. It's a short list. I've got 2 of them running internally here. If you want to see details about how a particular server is doing, you can click on the row and you'll get a detail page which will show you various metrics about how the server health is. So here's the response time over the last 24 hours. Here's the disk space, how much space you have free, which is very easy to understand. You can see how the CPU is doing, how the memory is doing, how many users are on that box, and if there's any pending, dead, or held mail. We also have tabs that let you quickly see the health of the server tasks. I can see which tasks are running, which monitored tasks may be missing. You could see the specific databases on that server. You can also see any upcoming scheduled maintenance windows or past outages. You can also take some direct action right from the grid. Here with the grid, I can right click and I can either tell VitalSigns to scan the server immediately, to edit it in the configurator, or to temporarily suspend monitoring it. So for instance, if I knew that because the Traveler task had a problem, I was going to reboot it and I didn't want to get alerts about that, I could suspend it for the next 15 minutes and it wouldn't monitor. Let me go ahead and edit in configurator. The configurator is just for the administrators, where the dashboard is for a wider audience. In the configurator, you can specify the intervals for scanning. You can set the various thresholds. You can specify whether you want dead mail to be deleted automatically or not. You can tell VitalSigns which server tasks are supposed to be running and what it should do when it detects that there's a problem with one of those server tasks. You can set thresholds for either all of the drives for selected drives, or say that I'm not going to monitor the drives for this server or not. You can also set thresholds for memory and CPU. If it's a member of a cluster, you can set a threshold for cluster replication delays. And finally, we have a threshold here where you can say send an alert if the server has been running for a certain number of days. We did this one for a customer that had a policy that said the servers had to be restarted every 45 days. Occasionally they would forget, so we just put that in there, and if the server's been running longer than that, that will tag it as an issue and send out an alert for the administrators to let them know it's time to reboot the server. Let me go back to the dashboard. We have lots of different ways that you can see the health of the various attributes that make up the server health. You could look at just Traveler servers with something called Traveler Health. You can also look at specific attributes of health, like just disk health or just cluster health or just the response times. Let me take a look here at cluster health. In the cluster health page, you'll see that VitalSigns automatically detects which clusters a server might be a member of, and it lets you know what's the current seconds on queue to get a document from one server to the other, what's the average. You can also quickly see whether there's variation over the course of the day. Here we can see there isn't much, but in some customer situations I've seen where at the beginning of the day the cluster replicator was current, and as the day went by it got further and further behind, and it wasn't until people started to go home that it would catch up again. Those are trends that are virtually impossible to detect manually, but when you have a graph like this, the trends just jump right out at you. If you're using Domino for mail, and lots of people are, you can quickly see who's got the biggest mail file, either across the organization or on a specific server. If you're using the native IBM quotas, you can also quickly go in and see who's got who's using up their quota or over their quota, either across all the servers or on a specific server. And we've got dozens of different reports that allow you to see different attributes of health, like the trends in disk space or in response time or in CPU utilization or availability and so forth. So if you'd like to try out VitalSigns in your organization, we encourage you to contact an account manager and schedule an eval. I think you'll very quickly know whether this is going to be something that adds value to your organization or not, and we will work with you every step of the way. Thank you.